Okay, I want you to picture a simple stalk of sugarcane. Got it? Now, imagine that same stalk. I'm talking the whole thing, not just the juice, but the waste, the fiber, all of it, powering a Formula One car at full blast and then fueling a commercial jet all the way across the Atlantic. I know, it sounds like science fiction, but it's not. It's the reality created by a company called RAIZEN. And their story, it's one of the most incredible tales in modern energy.
It all starts right here, in these massive sugarcane fields in Brazil. You know, for centuries, this was just a basic agricultural commodity, the foundation of the Brazilian sugar economy. Simple stuff, grown under the sun. Pretty low tech, right? And somehow it ends up here, powering some of the most sophisticated, high-demand machines on the entire planet. This journey from a humble plant to a high-performance, sustainable fuel, well, it's one of the most remarkable transformations you'll find in the energy industry today.
So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? How on earth did a company that spent 75 years farming sugarcane manage to team up with an oil giant and crack a code that basically all the other energy majors have been failing at for decades? Well, the answer really kicks off with a massive technological leap, a breakthrough that literally turned agricultural waste into a product the entire world wants. This isn't just about making fuel, it's about a totally new way of thinking about energy itself.
To really get RAIZEN's influence, you just need to know one thing. They are number one. And I mean, they are the only company on the planet commercially producing something called second-generation cellulosic ethanol at an industrial scale. Think about that. While energy giants have poured billions and billions of dollars into trying to figure this out, RAIZEN is already doing it.
But here's the kicker. This game-changing innovation didn't come out of some flashy Silicon Valley startup. Nope, it was born from one of the most improbable partnerships in corporate history.
So on one side, you've got Cosan, this Brazilian agricultural titan with a deep 75-year history in sugarcane. And on the other side, you have Royal Dutch Shell, a global energy behemoth with cutting-edge R&D and a gigantic fuel distribution network. I mean, on paper, these two had almost nothing in common. But it turns out, each one had the exact piece the other was missing.
And this timeline here, it lays out the whole journey perfectly. You can see it starts small, a little mill back in 1936. But the real spark, that comes in 1975. The global oil crisis forces Brazil to create its own domestic ethanol market, which was a huge challenge. But it put Cosan in the perfect spot. Fast forward to 2008, they're buying up gas stations, going from the farm all the way to the pump. All of this just perfectly set the stage for that game-changing merger with Shell in 2011 that created Raízen.
Now, let's get to the good stuff. At the very heart of this partnership was a huge technological gamble, a completely new way of making fuel that would just redefine what anyone thought was possible with sugarcane.
This is the secret sauce, second-generation ethanol, or E2G. See, traditional ethanol is made from the sugary juice, which, can compete with food. But E2G, it's made from the tough, fibrous waste that's left over, the stuff called bagasse. To put it simply, they're making fuel from trash.
And get this, here's the efficiency miracle. By using that waste product, Raízen can produce 50% more ethanol from the exact same plot of land, from the very same sugarcane plant. No extra land needed, no fighting with the food supply, it's just pure, brilliant efficiency. And that right there, that's the whole ballgame. It's truly transformational. In a world where biofuels have always been criticized for land use, this just solves that core problem. It's a closed-loop system that squeezes every last drop of value out of a single plant.
And the environmental payoff is just huge. And look, this isn't some marketing fluff. This is certified by strict European Union standards. An 85% reduction in carbon footprint. That is exactly why airlines and shipping companies, some of the toughest industries to decarbonize, are lining up to buy this stuff.
So, okay, RAIZEN has this incredible technology, but you might be wondering, what's stopping a competitor from just, copying it? Well, it turns out they've built this series of powerful, overlapping advantages, what investors call a competitive moat, and it is deep.
First off, they control absolutely everything, from the farm to the gas pump, giving them total command over their supply chain. Their E2G technology is locked down with patents. The Shell partnership is permanent, which means Shell isn't just a partner, they're a tech provider and their biggest customer. Talk about perfect alignment. And this is a really smart move. They sell their E2G in euros on long-term contracts, which protects them from the roller coaster of the Brazilian currency.
So you add all this up, the history, the killer tech, that deep competitive moat, and it paints a picture of an absolutely dominant, world-class company. Which brings us to a really fascinating and very modern paradox.
Let's just look at the raw numbers here. Raízen is pulling in over $45 billion a year in revenue. It is the undisputed global leader in its technology. And yet, its market cap in late 2024 was hovering around just $800 million. There is a massive, massive disconnect between how much this company does and how the market values it.
I mean, this chart just says it all, right? The bar on the left, that's their technological dominance. It is through the roof. The bar on the right, that's their market valuation, which looks tiny in comparison. Figuring out this gap is the key to understanding the whole RAIZEN story.
And this all leads us to the final and most critical question. Is the market seeing hidden risks here? Is it correctly pricing in the company's debt and all the challenges that come with operating in Brazil? Or is this a classic case of the market completely mispricing a technological monopoly that's on the verge of dominating a huge part of the global energy transition? That, right there, is the billion-dollar question.